Thank you, Mr. President. Why make a big deal out of this militia language? We know why. The reason why they're making a big deal out of the militia language is you want to color the Second Amendment as being something other than what it was intended to be, a right to individual freedom. That's why. Because if you can say it's something else, then the freedom to defend yourself is up for grabs. So why do we have a Constitution? We have a Constitution for the express purpose of limiting government. We should be more leery of trusting government than the people of Iowa. You know, we've seen this gradual incursion on every boundary of our human existence. You know, government was supposed to be limited, but now we're talking about socialism, which says you don't have any private property. We can take every dime you make. You're not a baby. Even if you're 1 day old out of your mother's womb, we can still kill you, right? You can't say that. We've got to keep God out of the conscience of this culture. We've got to build an insurmountable wall to keep him out, right? It's been this gradual, steady decline into our humanity and our dignity and freedom as individuals. Boundaries are there to protect people. You actually argued with us yesterday about putting a meaningful boundary on protecting a little girl from having their genitals mutilated, as though that was some cultural thing. My goodness, we're not going to protect little girls from mutilation? This is a similar conversation. Today we're talking about the right to defend ourselves. The Constitution is a code. It's a code of beliefs that puts boundaries on government. The Second Amendment is about defining the limits on government. So you mentioned James Madison, right? What did James Madison say? He said the Constitution preserves the advantage of being armed, which Americans possess over the people of almost every other nation where governments are afraid to trust the people. That was James Madison. He wrote it. I think he knew what he meant. The reason people are flocking here is they want freedom. They want the right to self-determination. That's why they're clamoring to get in this nation. They want to be free. They want to define themselves. And what are we doing here? We're giving Iowans an opportunity to define themselves. We're going to say, we're going to give you a say about how you want to be defined by making a constitutional amendment that says you can defend yourself, your family, your property, and your freedom. Now, it's way past time to start having conversations like this when the government is on this steady incursion into the dignity and value of each one of us in this room. If you're a senior, you can't make healthcare decisions in a hospital that determine whether you live or die. We're on the wrong path. People have a fundamental right to defend themselves. And you know, you said, why do we have strict scrutiny, right? I mean, why do we have strict scrutiny? The reason why we have strict scrutiny is we have to exercise the utmost caution anytime, and we should have the greatest concern about this, that the government seeks to move or destroy an existing boundary that affirms the dignity and value of the individual. That's why we have strict scrutiny. Thomas Jefferson said this. He said the Constitution of most states and the United States assert that all power is inherent in the people, not the government, not statism, not socialism, the people, and that they may exercise it themselves, that it's their right and duty at all times to be armed. What this bill does It gives the people of Iowa a say. I trust the people of Iowa. Why don't we let them define themselves? The decision doesn't end here. If it passes twice here, we give it to the people of Iowa and we say, here's your opportunity to stand up for a boundary of your freedom. And in this caucus, we want them to take it. Thank you, Mr. President.
The chair recognizes the senator.